Good afternoon, and welcome to Padre's Ponderings from the chapel.
In the chapel, and the parking lot is empty.
Yes, school was canceled today for the inclement weather. Hasn't been as bad here, but I have heard some other people say that the upstate is really getting kind of hammered with the storm.
Really?
Yes. So, I don't know. We'll see what the rest of the day holds, but we are cozy and safe in here.
Amen. I'm bluffing out. You know, I don't see a whole lot of blowing the wind in the trees, and the rains a little bit every now and then, but no puddles.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we'll see. We'll see.
80% chance of rain. We're in the 20.
We're in the 20?
It's not raining.
Oh, right now, at
Yeah.
this very moment, yeah. Okay. But overall today, it's 80%?
Yeah, at least. A little lightning thing on there. But anyway, chance to catch up. You got anything to catch up on?
I do. Although school being closed doesn't really affect you or me in our day-to-day stuff.
But you got stuff to catch up on, don't you?
Constantly. Constantly. Something that I just finished that I'm excited about, that you're going to hear much more about soon, is Alpha.
Alpha. And when are we cranking that up? Or is
February
it still
22nd.
a secret?
I just ordered the postcards to give out. We'll give those out at all the services, the different campuses, and also on the pancake dinner. That's another thing coming up. Shrove Tuesday pancake dinner across schools. So we'll give
So
postcards
Alpha
out
is
there.
going to start the week after that then?
Alpha starts the week after.
So first week of Lent. Great.
Yeah. So Shrove Tuesday pancake dinner is coming up. We'll start putting information out about that, and we're going to try what seems to have been working in 2023 is to have you pay online.
I thought the pancake supper was, did we charge for that? I thought that was free.
$5 for per person, or $10 for a family. And it's all you can eat pancakes. So it really helps us to not have to exchange monies, because that last year, I can't remember the exact number, but it was a big crowd. It was close to 300 people.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
So if we can get a pretty good head count in advance and go ahead and get that little payment, because it's not much. I mean, Jonathan loves Shrove Tuesday pancake dinner. Kids love pancakes, and they do chocolate chips and whipped cream and all that fun stuff. So, but you can feed a lot of people for $10.
They have sausage with it there too, don't they, or something like that?
Sausage, and I want to say last year they had pancakes, or bacon as well. I'm not positive on that, but.
And then after that, same night, annual gathering is over here. If folks want to be coming to that, information will be going out about that soon too.
Which other parishes call annual meeting? We call it annual
Or
gathering.
parish meeting or something like that, yeah. Annual gathering. But yeah, that's coming up too.
What are some important things that you try to intentionally make sure to hit? Because we're a huge parish with so many ministries.
In the course of the meeting, we touch on just a few things, but we have the annual report where all the ministries give a little quick synopsis of the year past for people, and that's online for folks to look at, where you can get to see a synopsis of all that. And I usually would deal with the bigger topics that cross all the campuses. We'll have Barbara Scott for the mission team. A lot happening in the missions this year. We'll have that. The food bank continues to just blow out. I want to say something about the docents this year.
Unbelievable numbers. I think we talked about that last Tuesday,
Yeah.
but it still is shocking.
And what that says about the area. I'll touch briefly on how we ended up the year financially, and look ahead a bit to this year. The new things that we're doing. Last year we did a lot of work on the historic campus, and we'll do some more this year. So I'll touch on a bit of that. But there's no way that you're going to be able to capture a whole year past or a whole year to come, because so much of what goes on is a platform for God to reveal the new areas that we're supposed to be moving in.
And one big area is discipleship. Barb Reddy joined the staff.
That's the number one area for this year.
Right. Barb Reddy joined the staff, I think it was like July of 2023. So we've been working together on, okay, what does our path forward with a parish our size, what does discipleship look like? And so she's going to be presenting a really good plan of what that path looks like.
I want to say something about faith formation. That program has blossomed a lot this year as the school has embraced it more and more and more, from the littlest to the graduating folks. So I want to speak a little bit about that in direction, and Nathan will probably speak to that. But I want to be sure to include that in there. But the discipleship pieces, that'll be the big thrust of everything. We're bringing in so many people from this year now. I think the number is 302 or 303.
It's 303.
New members. That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
And the year before was 250 something. So that's, just this year, we've added more new members than half the churches in the parish have in their membership. So when you add in that kind of numbers, but the big thing that's different here is our people are coming from all different backgrounds, and increasingly they're coming from no faith background.
Right, which
and
is
so,
why Alpha is
so
really important.
that idea of bringing folks together in a common understanding of the gospel is becoming more and more critical. If we do this keep this pace up like that, you'll have 2,000 people here in 5 years who are new to the church, and you gotta have a common ground for people. So that's the discipleship pieces will be the major focus for this coming year.
There are quite a few. We used to do Alpha.
We've done.
12
It's
years
been
ago, at least,
maybe
longer?
15 years ago.
Okay.
We did it for a couple of years, and then it just got old.
They've redone all of it now, but that
And I think that was a part of it too, because the
it can get
videos
dated.
were dated, very much so. I think they might have had the Beatles in one of those videos or something. They were live.
No,
They were live.
It wasn't that dated, but
And people in there looked like the Beatles, had the long hair and all that,
they did have that because it started in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a part of my faith walk. Is
Was Alpha.
I moved to Omaha, Nebraska in January. Only person I knew was my husband.
I bet you Omaha in January, right now, they got a blizzard coming across that Midwest out there.
It was something.
Whoa.
Never lived outside of South Carolina. Driving across, and Charlie was talking about where he lived in Kansas, that they have like this much snow on the ground from like last night. And, yeah, I'd never seen so much white.
And they've got that.
But it was a very
They have
lonely
the
time.
caucus in Iowa out there. It said it's going to be 0 or 1. That's going to be the high.
And nothing stops for that, just so you know. 0 or 1, you take kids out to recess.
In other words, they'll be having school today.
What up? Yes.
They'll be having school today.
There's like not. In Omaha, they canceled school for 50 below wind chill because the kids couldn't stand outside for the bus stop. So 50 below. But now they have the snow plows, like they're equipped. Like this is just life. But it was a very lonely time for me because I didn't know anybody. Completely new place, cold. I didn't want to go outside. But I drove past a church. It was an Episcopal church. And they had a banner outside that announced they were having Alpha. And I recognized it from growing up as an Episcopalian. I recognized the name. So it was familiar enough that I was like, I've got to get connected somehow. That looks sort of familiar to me. I think I'm going to join that. I didn't go to the church. I started to after that. But that's where I found my faith.
Wow.
Was through Alpha. Even though I had been raised in the church my whole life, every Sunday, sat in your Sunday school classes for years. But I really owned my faith through Alpha. So that's why it's a really impactful
Well, when you
series.
went out there, did you start teaching school right away?
I
Or
got
was
a,
that the next September?
we moved in January, so it was a little kind of an odd time to be looking for a job. I got a job working at as like receptionist type thing, and then started that following August. But let me tell you, there's nothing like getting 30 first graders into snowsuits to go outside for 10 minutes.
Golly day.
It's a good chunk of time. Great memories, though. It really was. It was a complete culture shock for me, granted. And one time, our assistant principal, they didn't call off school, even though we got 6 inches early morning. They didn't call it off. So I was white knuckling it the whole way. And I got to the school, and I went to the assistant principal, and I'm like, look, this Southern girl is going to need a sub next time. I am shaking because I was so scared.
Oh gosh, you're driving on snow and you don't know what's going to
Black
happen to
ice
the wheels. And
is
oh
super-
yeah.
it's
Oh,
very, very common. So great time. That's where my kids were born, and a lot of good things happened there. But it
one
was
time when
different.
your mom and I visited with you out there, I think you were giving birth to Grace or something.
Yeah, you
right?
came out when Grace was
I went to that little church, visited there, incognito.
and it wasn't wintertime.
No, it wasn't winter time. No.
Although you lived in Minnesota for how many years?
2 going on 30 years.
All right, when you left Minnesota, did you go straight to Texas? Because that.
No, it was the other way around. It was in Texas and went to Minnesota, from Minnesota to Atlanta. And
Whoa.
each place was whiplash. I mean, you went from Corpus Christi, Texas, that's one of
That
the
is
hottest places in the
humid?
country,
Oh my word, the humidity there.
to Minnesota where the snow's over your head by the time Easter comes around. Oh, God. They're way over my head.
And then where'd you say you went after that?
Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, you went from the highs to the lows to the highs.
But we adjust, right? And it's
Yeah.
like all areas of life, you just,
Yep.
you adjust. You
The
adjust.
saw something on the Weather Channel this morning early, and they were talking to people in Iowa, out, and the Weather Channel person is all bundled up, and the people, they just like it's nothing, and so he asked, y'all, are they going to cancel the?
Uh-oh.
Are they going to?
Did we lose power, Charlie?
I think we may be fine out here. Some of the stuff is down, but I think the recording stuff might still be on.
Okay, we just,
The internet might be gone, so we'll see. If it's back on,
we'll see. Okay. You may or may not be with us because we just had a little power outage from the
just-
wind, I guess.
Flickered, yeah.
So if
'Cause
you're here-
we have those backup things that kick in.
Right. So if you're here,
Yeah.
we're still here.
So, but anyway, the weatherman, he's all bundled up, and got his microphone and everything. And the people were walking by, and they just act like they weren't really fazed by all of it. And so he asked one of them, that the caucus thing is coming up next week, I think it is. And so he said, "Are you going to go out for the caucus, or think they'll cancel the caucus?" And the person, just like you're looking right now, that's how the person looked.
Because they don't cancel.
He just thought like this is some kind of inane question. Where does this come from?
But
It's not even on people's radar.
But you think about how much,
And they're going to play a ball game out there
yeah.
Sunday, Kansas City, supposed to be 0. The Kansas City
that'll
Stadium
be
for a
fun.
playoff
It's
game.
fun to
And Miami, I
watch.
think, no, I forget who's going to be there.
If it's Miami, bless their hearts.
I think Miami is there. I think I don't know. But anyway, it's a Southern team that's going to be up there. And they were saying that, and the team that's going up there plays inside. And the sportscaster people were saying that weather is normally not a factor unless you're going that way. That the people that play indoors up north can come south and play. That's not a problem. But you play indoors in the south and go to 0 up there, the game changes.
It's fun to watch games when it's snowing. Like, Green Bay is the frozen tundra?
Oh.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And seeing the fans like covered in snow, but they're
Yeah.
still sitting there
Whoa.
supporting their team.
Whoa.
So, anyway,
But I'm glad we don't have to deal with that.
yes.
By God's grace.
Yes.
By God's grace.
All right, so what are you working on this week? Besides the annual meeting, but
I'm
sermon?
deep into that, finishing up, trying to finish up budget stuff. I need to get that done so we can go through it with a fine-tooth comb next week. So I'm doing a lot with that. But still have people coming to visit to join the church. That's always a blessing there.
And your sermon this week is the one that you did last week on the historic campus, Hide and Seek.
Hide and seek.
Several people sent me messages about it.
Yep. I've emailed out a couple of copies of that text. I think people appreciate the fact that I do have a text. I don't read from a text in the sermon, but I do have a text that's available for people if they get touched by something or they get lost and need to go back through and review it or something like that. But yeah, people thought that was
Hide
good.
and Seek, it's Exodus, Moses.
Yep. Second chapter of Exodus up through, and then parts of the third. End of the first 10, 15 verses in the second chapter of Exodus, and then 8 verses in the third chapter. Yep. Good. I love that Old Testament and those foundational people and beliefs, and particularly the part, that God was to those people what he is to us. So I like all that. But the point is there's a lot happening. And yesterday was up there in Manning,
No, you went to a funeral.
largest funeral I think I've ever been to.
Really? Well, his reach was far and wide. So this was what was his
He was-
title? Superintendent?
No, he was the executive director of South Carolina Independent School Association. But he was from that Manning area in Lake City up in there, and had been headmaster of school there for 17 years. And then before that, he was with us.
Yeah,
at
Spencer
Thomas
Jordan was the
Very
gentleman's
special.
name.
Very
and he
special guy.
started at Thomas Sumter, where you were, as the football coach. So you
Very
think
talented fellow.
I know of a few people that attended that service that I'm sure you saw there, that from all the way back there. So I can imagine it was a massive
Enjoyed seeing
service.
Cindy Watts was there, and
Diane
Hicks was there.
Did you see Cheryl Morse?
No,
She was there.
no. One of Betsy Josie's daughters was there, who had children at Lawrence Bank. I don't think she taught there.
Courtney?
Yep, she was there. But I was the only caller in a heavy Baptist area.
I'm sure.
Heavy Baptist area.
But I bet it was a
But
lovely service
I
and
just-
remembrance. And
Oh,
I bet there
yeah.
were a lot of kids there, like high school, college kids.
Yeah, it was like a civic center where they have plays and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And so the whole floor was filled up. The floor was sloped, and then the big balcony behind there, all of that was filled up. I had to park 2 blocks away. But anyway, it was very special. I'm glad I went. I thought I could ease in and out and not be seen, but I got caught up in the lobby trying to make her get away. But 95 was